Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a Geek First podcast. A Geek First podcast, a Geek First review. I am Travis Snell, the lower Travis Snell, because I'm sitting in a chair that I usually don't, so now I know what the other geeks feel like. So, welcome to the Captain State review, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to do the regular, a Nora review, maybe a quick spoilers discussion. I will, because there's a few things, but I don't think they're going to be long. I don't think maybe that has something to say about this film. But let's see, what do I got to promote here? Endgame, trailer breakdown, and final predictions / James Gunn coming back. We had a really good cast a couple days ago. We got a lot of good feedback on that one, so thank you very much. We had a lot of fun, and go check it out. If you're into Avengers, we have a good time. We talk about who could kill Thanos, will Thanos live, who's really going to die, how much screen time is Cat's beard going to get, so that's exciting. Check out March 30th, the Geek for Scotland is back. That is our kind of esports gaming league mixed with WWE TV storylines, all the storylines and whatnot, those are planned, scripted. We have some fun playing some characters, but once we got into gaming, that's true. And Dylan's running it this year. He has some great ideas. I'm really excited about one, which you can't talk about yet till May, but I'm very excited about that. What else we got? April is talking about wrestling. WrestleMania, we're doing a watch along. That's our third annual one. The geeks indulge me in watch along. I get to explain them why I love this crazy male soap opera. And then I can't confirm anything yet, but I think Taylor and myself for Star Wars Celebration are going to be doing maybe a day-long stream of one. We're going to be doing a newscast, so covering the episode 9 trailers, everything like that. But I think we're going to be playing just a bunch of Star Wars games the whole day, so check that out. And then finally, we're going to a Shazam screening. We're very excited. We're going to see Shazam 2 weeks early, so we're going to have a non-spoilers review and then a spoilers review when that happens. Best thing to do right now is, if you like what we've done in the past, or even, we're in only a minute here, if you like even the sound of my voice so far and it's the first time you're listening, please subscribe. Because one, that helps us out, that helps us meet new fans. We've had a lot of good conversations these past few weeks because of Avengers and Marvel. So please, we want to find as much people out there. It helps us grow, it helps us. We're going into phase 2 of Geek First, and what that means, you'll have to stay tuned out. But man, we got some good stuff cooking. Maybe next week we can release it, next 2 weeks. It's nothing mind-blowing. It's just the quality as far as audio is going to improve quite greatly, and that's because you fans. So yeah, if you can go, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, please subscribe, leave a review. That helps us out a lot, and that's why you should do that, because we just have a lot dropping this week. We have a Green Lantern retro. We have I think a cast dropping almost every day coming out. Love, Death, Robots. We are just pumping out content. Just like Captive State pumped this movie out and nobody knew about it. So yeah, let's get in this Captive State. This movie, I'll be honest, I have a thing called Cinemia, which I think they might go out of business soon, so that's great. But it's very much like a Movie Pass, which has troubles, and an AMC movie list where I get allotted 3 to 4 movies, depending if something happens, a month that I get to go see a movie. So for this movie, I had seen I think I'd seen just a teaser of the trailer, and then I never watched the trailer because I didn't know if we were really going to do a big review or whatnot, and I tried to, we made a rule this year, the movie Us, I've not seen a single trailer about it. I have no idea what's happening in it, so if I know we're not really covering on the newscast, if it's a big topic like in Aladdin or Avengers, I usually actually stick away from it, just because trailers, unless I'm really excited, I want to see something. So this was just, I knew John Goodman was in it, knew Vera Farmiga was in it, and I knew Rupert Grint was, not Rupert Grint, what is it? Oh man, why am I spacing on his name? I'm pretty sure it's Rupert Wyatt, right? Let's do a quick check, because the guy who did the first Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and I really liked that movie. I'm going to say it's Rupert Wyatt, because Rupert Grint is Ron Weasley, I'm pretty sure. So this movie, and I really like Planet of the Apes, and I was excited, and when they announced he was going to do Gambit, I was excited for that, and so I had seen the idea, and I think I had just heard the concept of it. It's kind of and it is, and this is where I'll do non-spoilers, so don't worry, just go off what the plot is in the trailer. It is an alien invasion movie in the sense of what happens if they did invade, what came after, because always the movies we see most of the time are about the inciting incidents, right? First contact, we're dealing with the aliens, how do we stop them, what's their weakness, there's always some button where you press and all the aliens die at the same time, that. This is what happens if they came and took over. It's a good concept, and it's a strange movie. I haven't narrowed how I feel about this movie, not in the sense of other times where I walk out of like, how much did I like that? How much did I dislike that? It's the same way with Glass. If you've seen Glass, there's a twist, of course, Sean Blanc. I was like, I'm gonna have to sit on this for a while to really marinate on it. I feel like this is a movie that I'll never really know, because there's things I like about it, and then there's things that it's not even that I don't care for. This is the best way to say it. This is a decent movie. If you like sci-fi, I think it is worth checking out, but I think it's worth checking out on a cheap Tuesday or a Netflix in the future. I don't think this is a movie you have to run out and see. I don't think that has any... There's one scene in particular that I love, but for the most part, I don't think there's any big scene that you need to see where it's like, or multiple, like sometimes something like an Avatar, or something, even some Zack Snyder's work. It's just so visually stunning. You gotta go see it. I don't think there's anything of that. And performances are all good, but nothing stands out, and that's just because nothing in the script really lets it stand out. There's not, I can really I think it struggles with placing them in the right spots as the movie continues. I think its structure is a little strange. We just jump from character to character, and if this is minor spoiler, sorry, but it just will jump from character to character, and then we'll not see a character for a full half an hour to 45 minutes, and he's one of our main characters, and then we jump back to someone else, and I think, and this is like such a popular thing to say, so I don't like saying it, but this feels like an episode or a few episodes of a TV show, and this is a finale of a show, and you go, okay, there's going to be more, right? And that's what I'm saying, cliffhanger. It just means like there could be in the world, I think, a lot more explained coming up in the, like, what happens next. And to me, it doesn't leave you off in a way where you're like, oh man, it's like the way Ex Machina ends, where it's like, oh, I wonder what's next, but it's a definitive ending. It's just kind of like, okay, like I do wonder what's next, but I'm not... It's not a big cliffhanger. It's not like something leaving you like, oh man, what is going to happen? You know, the Pandora's box is open. What could happen next to this world? It's kind of like, okay, we went that route, and you know, you could maybe do more of this film franchise, because it's about an alien taking over, so you could... and that's the thing. They introduced lots of elements, lots of characters, and none of them really stuck with me. Like I said, I don't think 10 Cloverfield Lane, where he puts in this stellar performance where, like, man, you gotta see John Goodman in this. Everyone does what they need to do well. Writing and dialogue is fine, but there's lots of portions where there's not in like an artsy way, just in, you know, it's lots of walking around or looking at plans or, you know, trying to stop a certain situation happening. So it's just, I didn't really connect with any of the characters, because I didn't feel like I got a chance to. Like, even John Goodman's character, I don't know if I'm getting spoilers, I just feel like I wanted a lot more, and they reveal some stuff about him, but at the same time, I never feel like I got a good grasp on him. It's a movie that, and I guess, you know, and because I'll probably go into spoilers in the next 5 minutes or so, it's a movie that I'm throwing probably, I don't know, like a 6, because I would like, and especially, you know, we always talk about this on podcasts, a 6 in like Rotten Tomato world, that's a pass. To me, a 5 is still a pass because we're not on Rotten Tomatoes, but to me, a 6.5 is something, a 5 is just a pass, just like, it barely made it, but it's there. A 6.5 to me is, you know what, it was good. There's some moments that I enjoyed, but it's nothing I'm going to revisit. And that's the thing I could say about this. So there's not a great performance, there's not like a great scene, not a big twist or anything. They don't even have anything like a morality play going on, and that's the thing. And they talk, like, all those things I talked about are maybe hinted at, maybe not the great scene acting, but I mean like something... certain threads are pulled on as far as maybe kind of like an uprising or secret government or the idea of this alien invasion. And I feel like what did a lot better was District 9. This feels like a lesser District 9 because that incorporated aliens so well, and I felt like the world building in that movie, the second that movie starts, through 5-10 minutes in, you know what you're in, and they keep building upon that as the movie goes along. I feel like this kind of gives you cliff notes of what happened in the world, and you're supposed to fill in the blanks, and I can. I think especially the credits, like, the credits are, they're showing stuff that happened after the invasion, no big spoilers, because that's the premise of the movie, and then there's just lots of text telling you what happened, and it's fine, it works, but then I was waiting for more of the world, I was waiting to see more of the people of that world, and just how the world worked, and even how some of the aliens, and that's, I guess, maybe not the design. I can't say. I just feel like there was not a clear course of much as far as what the world was, how the relationship was with the aliens. You get a hint about, and that's all maybe talk about in spoilers, but it's all kind of like I said, cliff note, maybe surface level stuff. And that's what kind of sucks. There's some really good ideas in here. There's some cool designs. I actually like a lot of the alien designs and how they function. I will say that it feels like it's a lower budget, but let me take a look here. I know it's bad to do during a review, but I think what you needed is this needed more time. I think I think you did need a bigger budget. I'm gonna look up. Oh yeah, $25 million. That makes a lot of sense because it feels that way. It feels that this movie could be on a grander scope, but it just does not have the tools to do that. And that's where, to me, there's one set piece I like in particular, but it's very quick. I think the two things you'd have to do is, like, not saying it had to be a TV show. I'm not going to use that, but that would help. The two things, I think you either had to have made this movie longer, or you had to trim a lot of the fat or conjoin different storylines. There's a lot going on. And not even, like I said, I don't think it's in the sense of a lot going on where I can't follow it. Just a lot going on where I never really attach strongly to one story. I feel the guy who I would say plays the main character, in my opinion, I don't even remember his name, so that's great. Let's see. Gabriel Drummond, Gabe, I think that was the main character. I liked him, but it was always just they're in the middle of the alien invasion. And that's the thing where I'd say it's not a bad movie, because it is just, if you want just an adventure sci-fi, people are trying to live in this world and maybe stop these aliens, you get that. You know, I'm a guy that I think when Battle Los Angeles came out, I liked it, because it was just like a normal, like, okay, we're not going to get too much here. It's the army fighting aliens, and I enjoyed it. And the same thing about this, I enjoyed it. But I think if you're not a sci-fi or like alien invasion type of fan, you don't need to see this. I don't think there's anything really there for it, which is disappointing. I didn't have much stock in this because I didn't even look at reviews. We didn't even get it on. We got, I guess, a Friday, but we didn't get it Thursday night, which we usually get new movies Thursday night. So when we saw it, myself and Emily, my girlfriend, only people in the theater, felt bad for the projector guy. So I felt that nobody knew about what this movie is or was. And especially as I'm looking at the, when I'm at the IMDb page and they have the banners on the side and it goes, 10 years ago they took our planet. And it goes, today we take it back. You don't get that scope in the movie. You do not get that grand feel of taking down the alien invasion. It feels, that's why I do hate to do the TV comparison, but it feels like a couple episodes in a show that are leading to a grander finale or building towards something. And it builds towards something, an ending, but to me I was kind of like, alright. And there's some clever stuff in there, but nothing, and there's things I liked, and I know I sound really negative, but I guess there's things I like, but not enough to be, man, I love it. It's not enough to recommend it. I wouldn't recommend this to. And see, that's the bad thing. I would. There's many other things you could watch. I enjoyed it. If people watch it, I'd love to talk about it, and I would recommend to a very select group of people, and not even because. And I wouldn't even recommend it. I would just go, hey, you might enjoy this. Give it a watch. But I'd never say you gotta see this. And even Dylan, who's a big John Goodman fan, I think he's one of his favorite actors. You can see it eventually, but you don't need to. I was disappointed in the movie, but just disappointed because I liked the director what he'd done previously. I liked the cast, and I really liked the concept. And I liked some of the ideas they threw out there, but they just never really hit a home run. So that's kind of my non-spoilers. I would go kind of a 6.25. I've been doing that lately. It's between a 6 and a 6.5, and we talked about this, me and Kirkland, check out our Triple Frontier review. To me, like, the 6 to 7 range is a movie that I'm never going to watch again. That's where, to me, is like, there's some good stuff in there, maybe a scene or something I'll remember from it. Like, oh yeah, I really liked that moment. And that's what happened in this movie. I have one scene, one set piece that I really like, but it was very quick. And I like the idea, and to me, I always pass a movie that at least has, there's good cinematography. There's one moment where this guy I liked it, but this guy's just walking on a balcony that's like great, and they kind of start from behind him, and they go through it, and then they go under it, and they're watching him. It was good. Score, actually, was really good. Oh, pardon my water break. Spilled everywhere. The score was really good. From the minute the movie started, I'd have to look who did it. I'm not going to look again at the computer, I've done enough, but the minute it started, I was into it. It had like a kind of ticking clock feel, which worked with the plot, and it had a creepy feel when some certain stuff was going down. So I will probably look that up with this non-spoilers because I don't want to kill the momentum of the review. But great score. Like I said, if you like those things, if you're really like an actor, sure, but don't think it's something you need to see, and give it 6.25. I will probably never watch this movie again. And it's a movie where, what if it was maybe on Netflix and I wanted to fall asleep, which sounds bad, and I probably wouldn't put it on because there's other ones I have sleep movies too. But I'd put it on, or if I came over to someone's place and they were watching it and it was on, I would watch it. But I don't think I'm ever going to go out of my way to, So, yeah, 6.25. See it if you enjoy that stuff, but I think this is a cheap Tuesday. Wait till Netflix. I don't think you're going to miss anything. I don't think people are going to really remember this movie in 2 months. It's going to be, remember that movie that came out? Yeah, it doesn't have that Ex Machina feel, where it's like, hey, you heard that about that movie? And it slowly was like, oh, I've seen it. It's just like it builds. This isn't that. It's not one of those sleeper hits that, it's doing low at the box office, but, it's going to catch on. No, I don't think so. There's not enough for it to catch on, unfortunately. So, I enjoyed it enough. Not a bad movie. Like I said, always Passing that has good, decent dialogue, good acting, things like that. Not terrible plot structure, terrible plot holes, or terrible just plot decisions, or really awful performances. So, 3, 2, 1. If you don't want to be spoiled at all, it's going to be very quick, but I think you could. The scene that I liked a lot, so because I want to start with the positives, because I feel like I was really negative, and I'm being really negative on a movie that was fine, and that I feel bad about that, but So there's a scene. I'll set this for people who are just listening to spoilers, and they're not gonna see this movie because I maybe shat all over it. I didn't mean to, but there's a scene where there's a group called Phoenix, and classic. The Phoenix is gonna rise again. So it's Aeon's taken over. Our main character, Gabe, and his brother. His brother was kind of like the face of this organization. He had passed away midway, and like I said, this is your last chance. You know what? I'm going to take one last water break. I like to do that. Last water break, then we get into full spoilers. God, water. Just the best. His brother's believed to be dead. It's revealed in the movie that and lots of build up to, Gabe and his Machine Gun Kelly, who's acting quite a bit and always in these type of movies, and he's fine. But it's revealed his brother's alive, and his brother, what happened is Gabe is kind of helping, I think not knowingly helping the Phoenix organization. He's bringing information to one person. He doesn't know who that person is. Surprise, it's his brother. The guy who played Gabe, the main guy, I think that's it. I honestly, I know him, I didn't want to check. I need to check that I make sure it's him, because I thought he did a really good job acting-wise, Ashton Sanders. Yeah, I want to see him more. I feel like I see him in anything. Moonlight, that's it! Okay, I feel so much better. I couldn't place him the whole movie, and I was like, man, I remember him, but that makes so much sense because he's so good in Moonlight. I feel so bad, but that makes sense because he's better than this movie. I'm not saying this movie's bad, but just his performance is really good. Good for that kid. I might get him in the superhero draft because he's a good actor. But, so he's good. It's revealed his brother's alive. His brother and a group of bandits are gonna take out, they are, what are they? The aliens, I guess, some leadership or something like that. I guess just, what I should say is, so aliens invaded Earth. They came in. They kind of made a deal that they've been known now for over 9 years of keeping peace in the world, but it's very kind of peace by force. If people are dangerous or thought to be dangerous or a threat, they just ship them off to a planet, and that's where they deal with. And that's the thing. They talk about almost like District 9 how they deal with immigration. They talk about that, like deporting people and immigration problems. But it's just like a couple lines in the news, and it's brought back at the very end. Like, it's all these cool ideas are brought up, but they never really focus on one, and it just becomes a very, 48 hours of we tried to stop the aliens, and we hope it worked. And you don't really know. The movie kind of ends with a successful mission, but it's one little place. Who knows? We'll get into that in a little bit. So they do this mission where there's a big football field. It's a Soldier Field in Chicago, and the legislation, that's what these aliens are called. They are going to come out or meet for the first time, and I think I was assuming that was the president. His name was like Robert Hayes, but anyways, there was either a senator, someone political, that was there to meet with the aliens. I thought it was the president, but that was my fault for not paying attention to that, so I apologize. But the Phoenix has been planning to, they've following this guy because they know he's going to meet with the legislation. And the alien designs I really like. They feel like a little low budgety, the CGI, but they at first look very much like kind of Quiet Place monsters, but when they come down, they are just like they're big, like size of Quiet Place monsters as far as height and arms and legs, but their bodies are kind of all hair and just entwined and whatnot. And then when they go and attack, they become big pincushions or porcupines. And I like that. At one point, one of them gets ripped off, and it's shown that it's kind of just like an exoskeleton to help them breathe, and they get ripped off, and you see the alien's face, and that dies. So I really like the design of that. I thought they were scary. This is built up to the best scene, but I thought they were scary. They used them well. There was one scene in the middle where I think this guy's name was Bob. He was part of the Phoenix. He was getting attacked. This was when I thought, when it checked into my brain, like, this is a lower budget movie, because when he was getting attacked, it was so dark, I couldn't even see what, you could just see spikes happen. You couldn't see much of the action. So that was unfortunate, but so they're going to take out the legislation. So what they've created somehow, I think they use some aliens tech where it's a bomb that is just like, it's clear. It's alien technology, so I'm not going to get into it. The bomb is clear, and you can put it on people's clothing, and it can mask and kind of like camouflage itself. When it's activated, it kind of spreads out throughout the person's body, becoming bigger and explodes. So they do this. They put this on the president. The whole Phoenix crew is there to like... And that's the thing. Detour, the first half an hour to 40 minutes is, maybe I'll say half an hour, is the main character in Gabe. We meet the brother, and then we switch over to the brother for a little bit, and then we switch over to all these random people with the Phoenix. You also have John Goodman bouncing around in there, and then later on when all that goes down, and Gabe, he gets disposed. He's like, aliens are after him. He gets disposed for about, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes, and he's gone, which sucked because he was really good. He was my favorite part, and again, Moonlight bias, not biased, but I just remember being like, the whole movie now, it makes so much sense. I'm sorry to harp on this, but I was like, where is he from? He's so good. So he's gone, and then after the Phoenix does their mission, he comes back. That was a pain in the ass how we were just jumping all over, but then at the same time just not really focusing on anybody. We brought in so many characters. They didn't need so many of the Phoenix in there, and they don't even flesh them out. That's what I mean. Like, they're in there short enough not to care about them, but they're not in there short enough. Okay, let me rephrase that. They're not in it short enough to go quickly ignore them, but they're not in it long enough to really care about them, other than the fact of they're heroes trying to help out the planet, and good for them. So they do this mission. They've all have different positions. One's a security guard. It's just like a heist, but they pull us off. The Robert Hayes, like I said, I'm not sure if he's president. I'm just gonna say he's president. He doesn't know. They just kind of slap him on, like, oh, good for you. He's like, don't touch me. And they're meeting him. They're meeting the aliens or legislation, like the parking garage. They get close. It blows it up. So of course it's kind of like a terrorist attack, right? That's the way the government spins it. That there's been a terrorist attack on us and Soldier Field and legislation. Water break. So what happens is, and there's all this stuff where I like this idea too. The aliens have put trackers where they had kind of cut right under their neck and put in this like bug, and it would, if they're tracking them, it would make noises and it would move very violently and whatnot. So it was just a tracker, but it was very cool. They at one point take it out, and that's how the Phoenix can get in there. They take it out and put them in jars and whatnot. So that was a fun idea, cool. All these people have had that taken out so they can't be tracked. And then they've been given ones that they're kind of something about they're deceased, or it's something that will get them past security, but it has an expired date, and it's like 7 a.m. the next morning. So they're going to die. So they know they got to get this mission done, get out of town. The respective people are getting out of town. How they get discovered is they catch one of the Phoenix people who had a daughter and a wife, which he makes a phone call to her, and he's like, oh, I've been doing this for years, and I couldn't tell you, I'm really sorry. And then she's like, someone's here to talk to you, and John Goodman and the evil government crew are there, and they have his child, and like, tell me or they die. Tell me where your friends are going, they die. That was dumb because I didn't understand why the guy who, as someone that has a girlfriend and a kid and a dog, which I understand he was being sneaky and whatnot. He knew though, like they had set up once you did this explosion, you had to get out of there. So I think you would go to your wife and be like, hey, I'm doing this for the best of us. Even if you don't support me, we gotta be out of here by tomorrow. But it was very strange pacing of he did it and then he's calling his wife like, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't understand if like he was leaving his family or not, and it didn't seem that way. It seemed like he cared about his family, but then he put them in quite big risk of just, becoming a terrorist in this world, which is, in this movie it's for good, but that's why they have a chance to survive. So great, that was just something that happened, but kind of a plot device to get these people caught. He gives them up. They go to the train station, 3 of them, or the bus station. They all get across. There's one great scene. The girl gets across right, just across 7. She uses like a kid to help her disguise her way through security. So they're getting on these buses, and now that the government knows that they're there, they've got the legislation or the aliens. They send down their like war aliens, and they are just kind of a predator. Like, they're massive, they're very buff, they have big armor. Not like the aliens we've seen before. It's probably them, but just in different, like I said, war attack style suits, because they know where they're looking for these people. And just the intensity of that scene was really good. Them hunting them down at one moment, one person, and that's one cool thing that they do in this movie is the aliens can have this attack where they just make explode and they just turn into, kind of like you've seen on the poster, just like a cloud of red dust and clearly just blood. One person just runs at one of them, boom, does it. There's another, and they make them scary because the entire bus station, the lights get killed, and it's just red lights, and then all of a sudden, and how these aliens enter, they're entering through the atmosphere in like fiery balls, but just like spaceships, but it's just, you just see fire rain down from the sky, and they hit the ground, they just come out, and they're big, and they got guns, they look scary, and then the next time you see them, they're just walking around this parking garage looking scary. So yeah, that was really well done. I like the build up to that. The one girl just runs in, blood, dust. Another guy, he tries to put a fight with the alien, very brutal. They just take him out, they beat him, they go to kill him. This guy has a cyanide pill. And then the guy's brother, Gabe, he was in here as well. He's trying to escape. He fights off one alien very quickly. They have him dead to rights. He goes to take a pill, and then John Goodman shoots his hand because they need him alive, and they capture him. That was about it. I'm not going to keep going on with the rest of the movie. But that was the scene that I really like that. Very good intensity. Score was good. The atmosphere was good. And that's where the budget worked. It was dark, but the darkness and the red flashing lights and just the shooting of the aliens really worked out. And they didn't come off as cheesy or low budget. To me, at least, I really liked it. And it just really worked. And I wish the rest of the movie was that. They had scenes kind of going for that, but it never reached that potential from anything before or anything after that. And that's a shame, because I think, to me, if you're going to do a movie that is really, in my opinion, that ended up just being about a mission to stop aliens, I think you make it more visual, more action, and more about these intense moments. And they tried to work in some character stuff, but it didn't really pan out. I think they tried a little bit. I don't even think it's that they tried to work in character stuff. They did try to work in moments, but there's just so many characters that you're kind of, too much bread is spread over a little bread, as Bilbo would say. Other things I liked, I'm trying to think, but that's the one thing I could show. Like I said, the score. John Goodman's character was talking about the end. I like what they did with him. I still wanted more, but that's where I wish some characters were cut out, or it was, and I don't want to do that and restructure and just rewrite the whole movie. But what they presented to me didn't work, because I did have questions about John Goodman's character. He ends up being a good guy, but the twist is very quick at the end, where it's just like every character you've seen in this movie that was part of the Phoenix, they're in this videotape, and because Gabe is like the leader of old videotapes, something like SD cards, and it's just like, oh, he was with you all along, and even though he kind of hurt your brother and was after you, like, he was really out to help you out. And John Goodman's whole character thing is, he goes, because Gabe has to, Vera Farmiga plays this girl who's like the head of Phoenix in Chicago, and they catch his brother, they're beating him, they say, we're going to kill him if you don't help us. He helps them out, leads to Vera Farmiga's death, who was just a nothing character. 2 scenes that just was like whispering to John Goodman, being a little sexual, and the next time we see her shot in the head. I don't know why she did this movie. I don't know if she realized director needed someone to do a favor. It was very strange. I felt you could have had a minor actress in there. I like seeing Vera Farmiga, but it was a big waste of her, who's I think one of the best actresses in Hollywood. That happens, and then he sees Gabe later on. They ship his brother off to one of these alien spaceships where it's like they get, they're putting them on other planets. We don't really know. They're just taking them off Earth. And he gives him the speech kind of like, what if failing was the plan, And then that's revealed John Goodman They kind of took out the chain of command in Chicago and the government, and then John Goodman ends up being the top because he is with the good guys, he's with the Phoenix. The whole movie is portrayed to be a bad guy, and that's the problem. He's portrayed to be a bad guy, so you don't get to learn much about him, and the interactions he has are kind of strange. You just learn that he was kind of friends with the main character's dad at one point. I wish I learned a lot more, or maybe that twist reveal happened not at the end because they tried to play it off as a big twist, and I kind of felt that was coming just because when you say, maybe it was supposed to fail, it's like, well, okay. And even earlier, it's just, he always felt, there's a lot of breadcrumbs if you've seen the movie, in my opinion, where it didn't come off as a big twist, so I wish we got more character development. And with this twist is, so he is the new leader, and the leader the leader of the government or whatever this special operation is in each country or each city, because these aliens have invaded the world, they get to meet with a communicator of the legislation. They kind of make them like the big boss. I think they're like underground in Earth, so they're kind of running things. He goes there and he goes down there for the first time ever with this undetectable, see-through bomb. He blows them up, so that's good. And, he takes out, I don't know if he takes out Chicago or whatnot, but I think it's supposed to be like he inspires a lot more people. But we don't see it. The movie ends, he goes down and blows up. I think you could have done, there's a movie that came out this year where a big event happens, and you do see the inspiration throughout people. And the movie begins with, we gotta, set the spark to light the first order or whatever, to take the first order down. It was like that, to set a spark to start the war. And they do that, but you don't see that spark. What if he just took out the Chicago one, and then the rest of the cities and countries like, oh, something happened, cool, but we're not going to fuck with these aliens, So I think, I don't know, that was maybe a budgetary thing. I don't know if they want more. But he, at one point, says, maybe the plan was supposed to fail. Here comes a water break. To me, maybe his brother and the girl who was the Phoenix head leader, because when she gets shot, she's like, hi Gabriel, it was Gabriel, right, 100%, and she gets shot right away because the government comes in. They used him to track her down, so she kind of had the sense of, it felt like she knew she was going to die, and she was doing it for the greater good. And maybe we don't get much time with his brother after he gets caught, but maybe he knew. I didn't get the sense that the other Phoenixes that were on the mission had a sense that they were there to fail. They were trying to get on this bus, because really, you didn't have to do much of that. You could have just had, if they wanted Gabriel to do that, you could have just had some reason his brother got kidnapped. So it was kind of convoluted. It wasn't this big reveal where it was like, oh, they're all in on it, because I feel like some of them were, but not all of them. So it was kind of weird. Like, some of these OG Phoenix members were, but I don't know. It was kind of like, all right, I see what you're going for. It's supposed to be this sort of twist. I don't think I got anything else to add. I really don't. Like I said, acting is fine. Yeah, I think I've said everything I need to about this movie. Yeah, I've made my recommendations. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did watch it, and if you did, if you have any questions, let me know, because I don't actually know how many people have seen this movie, so that's great. I'm excited to actually go see other reviews out there. But yeah, let me know if you liked it, if you didn't like it, what you thought. I had an enjoyable time. I didn't love this movie. I'll never watch it again, but I would never say it's a bad movie. So thank you very much for tuning in. We hear from you next. It'll not be boring.